Welcome to GlobeSongs. I'm Carla Seidel. Today on GlobeSongs we are going to focus on an Italian, or more specifically Neapolitan song that has become known as a stereotypical Italian song around the world. It's called Funiculi, Funicula. This song did not start out as a folk song. It was composed as a novelty song by the composer-songwriter team of Luigi Denza and Peppino Turco. It was unveiled at the Piedigrotta Festival in 1880, where it won first prize. This is a festival that continues to this day. The song was written as a humorous celebration of the first funicular, or cable railway, that went up the side of the famed Mount Vesuvius. In the song, the narrator heads up the volcano to escape his girlfriend Nanine's ungrateful heart. But as the car reaches the summit and turns around, he compares the volcano to his love and says that he wants to marry her. Funiculi Funicula is a tarantella, a dance that's native to the south of Italy and is probably the most recognized type of song of all traditional Italian music. Literally, tarantella means tarantula, and it's done nowadays at Italian weddings, with everyone in a big circle going clockwise until the music changes. It speeds up, it changes direction, and it continues like this, speeding up and changing direction, and it's fun to see who can keep up. You can hear an example of a tarantella in the movie The Godfather, and tarantellas are often theme songs of Italian restaurants and pizzerias as well. Now, while this song is known as an Italian song, the lyrics are written not in standard Italian, but in Napolitano, Neapolitan, the Italian dialect that's common to Napoli or Naples and the surrounding region. This language has 5.7 million native speakers, and incidentally, Standard Italian was originally a Tuscan dialect. I was interested to find out, too, that many of the most famous songs that people associate with Italy, such as O Sole Mio and Torna a Sorrento, in addition to this one, are actually Neapolitan songs written in the Neapolitan dialect, which can be hard to understand for Italians from other regions. According to Jeff Matthews' website, Naples, Life, Death, and Miracles, Neapolitan songs often feature love, sure, but the real passion in the Neapolitan song is generally reserved for celebrating the city, the sun, and the sea, or lamenting life's greatest tragedy, not death, but rather being far from home. Many of these Neapolitan songs are so famous partly thanks to Neapolitan tenor Enrico Caruso, who sang them as encores after his performances at the Metropolitan Opera in New York. The songs also found their way abroad with the millions of emigrants, many of whom were from Naples. Funiculi Funicula has been a popular hit ever since its release in 1880, and more recently it was taken up by the Three Tenors and Andrea Bocelli. The song's chorus features a joyous nonsense refrain, Funiculi Funicula, which plays off of the Italian word funicolare, or funicular. The actual translation of the song, and this is from an article on classicfm.com, is, "Yesterday evening, Anna, I went up. Do you know where? Where this ungrateful heart cannot spite me any more. Where the fire burns, but if you flee, it lets you be. And it doesn't chase you, it doesn't burn you, to see the sky. Let's go up to the top, let's go. Funicular up, funicular down. Let's go from the earth to the mountaintop. Without walking, we can see France, Procida, and Spain. And I can see you. Pulled by a rope, no sooner said than done, we'll go to heaven. It goes like the wind, suddenly, Up, 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 we've climbed it. My love, we've already climbed to the top. It's gone up, then returned, then it's back. It's always here. The summit revolves around, around you. This heart always sings, my love, let's get married one day. The Funiculare must have been quite a ride. Not so enjoyable has been what happened at the site years prior to the construction of the funicular, and also has happened since, and may happen again. You've probably heard of Pompeii, the preserved ancient Roman city. It was this very same Mount Vesuvius whose eruption in 79 AD destroyed that city, covering it in at least 19 feet of ash and other volcanic debris. It did this in a quick burial that preserved it for centuries before the ruins were discovered in the late 16th century. Mount Vesuvius has a long historic and literary tradition. The Romans thought of it as devoted to Hercules. Mount Vesuvius currently is considered one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world because there are 3 million people living near enough to be affected by an eruption. It's currently closely monitored by the Osservatorio Vesuvio in Naples, and local governments are making efforts to try to reduce the population in the so-called red zone. Sadly, the funicular this song refers to is no longer operational. Mount Vesuvius has been active since its construction. An April 1906 eruption killed over 100 people, forcing the 1908 Summer Olympics to be held elsewhere. Then, in March 1944, a major eruption destroyed the funicular and also destroyed several villages. But getting back to our celebratory, upbeat song, an English version of this song that's often heard and sung but has little relationship to the real meaning of the song was written by the English lyricist Edward Oxenford under the title A Merry Life. It's these English lyrics rather than the Italian ones that were published for the song Funiculi, Funicula in the Rise Up Singing book that I have often used as reference over the years. Now, here's the English version. Some think the world is made for fun and frolic, and so do I, and so do I. Some think it well to be all melancholic, to pine and sigh, to pine and sigh. But I love to spend my time in singing some joyous song, some joyous song. To set the air with music bravely ringing is far from wrong, is far from wrong. It's almost as if Oxenford wanted to take the Italian stereotype of the dolce vita and bottle it into a song. Now, is there any truth to this, though, that Italians uniquely know how to enjoy the dolce vita or sweet life? According to the acclaimed 2006 memoir by Elizabeth Gilbert, Eat, Pray, Love, there is. Gilbert discovers in the book the Italian motto dolce far niente, meaning the sweetness of doing nothing. And if you read it, you'll see that the value that she says the Italian culture places on the moment, on the simple and beautiful pleasures of everyday life. In researching stereotypes about Italian culture, I also found many folks referring to the Italian tendency to speak loudly and make big gestures while talking. We are a generous, sunny, and communicative people, says, for instance, the article on being Italian on justlanded.com. According to the Wiki Napoli section on stereotypes, many of the stereotypes of Italians, such as crazy driving, loud talking, big gestures, over-the-top emotion, etc., are even more prevalent in Naples. The travel writer Rick Steves writes, "If you like Italy as far south as Rome, go farther south. It gets better. If Italy is getting on your nerves, don't go farther. Italy intensifies as you plunge deeper." The exaggerated style or spirit of Funiculi Funicula seems to point to that. You get in there the amplified Italian flavor, and perhaps this is why it's become such an auditory emblem of Italianness. The recordings that I've heard of this song, too, generally male opera singers, they're singing this with bravado, which is something else that, at least superficially, seems to run high in Italian culture. I've read that this is a characteristic that has been observed through much of Southern Europe as well. In any case, Funiculi Funicula's appeal certainly does not come from being a shy, retiring love song. And these are qualities that have informed my own style of singing and playing this song. It's admittedly a little bit different from my normal style, but it's a lot of fun to do. So I hope you enjoy. Molte grazie e per ora, ciao!
Ai sera nanne nemmene saliette, tu sai adò sto cuore ingrato chiudi spietto farme un po'. Adò il fuoco coce ma si fugge te la se sta e non te corre appresso non te strugge solo a guardare. Yaman coppa yamma yaman coppa yamma ya funiculi funicula funiculi funicula coppa yamma ya funiculi funicula ne yame dalla terra alla montagna non passa un cielo se vede Francia proceta alla Spagna io vengo a te tirato con la funnetito in fatto ce lo se va come al vieto all'intrassato due sali e sa yaman coppa yamma yaman coppa yamma ya funiculi funicula funiculi funicula coppa yamma ya funiculi funicula se ne saluto e ne se ne saluta